So hi everybody, we'll just start this interview. So I'm the interviewer here and my name is Amrith. A little bit about myself. I work as a software engineer at Amazon Hyderabad with a team called Alexa Data Services. I've been working with the team for over a year now, and my area of work is in backend. I do a little bit of front end as well. We work in AWS mostly. So that's it about myself. So yeah, that's it. Alex, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, so my name is Alex, as you already know. And previously, I worked at Amazon for 3 years. And before that, I was an intern at Facebook and Zynga.
Oh, that's awesome. So, how many years of experience do you have in total?
Around 3 years if you don't count internships.
That's perfect. That's awesome. So, what do you work on?
So previously, I worked on the tax software team and specifically the storage area, so storing all of the tax data within Amazon.
Cool. That's nice. Yeah. For this particular interview, we'll be planning to do 2 or 3 questions, depending on time. And the time of the interview is 45 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
So the plan is we'll discuss a question. We'll see how we can solve it. We'll discuss how it goes, and then we'll get into the code.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. So, what is your language of choice?
Java, please.
Yeah, sure. Perfect. So in that case, let's start with a small question. All right.
Okay.
So I'll type the question here. You're able to see, right?
Yes.
So let's say, so I'll give you an array, okay,
Yep.
an array of integers. And the ask is to find a triplet such that the product is maximized.
Okay. So, like, what is defined as a triplet? Like, just any three numbers in the array?
Yes, just any 3 numbers in the array.
Okay, so let's say, let me just like put an example here.
Sure.
So let's say it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hmm.
Then the triplet would be 3, 4, 5, and I'll just return 3, 4, 5.
Right.
And it can be in any order, right?
For the sake of the triplet, let's assume that triplet is in the sorted order.
Wait, so it's in the sorted order.
Yeah, like the triplet you return should be in the sorted order.
Okay. So if it's like 1, 2, okay, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, then it would still be 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean 3, 4, 5. This one.
Right. Right.
And what if the array is like less than size of 3? Like, should it still return like the largest two numbers, or like should it just return error?
You can return an empty array in that case.
Okay. Okay, so I think like how I would approach the question is use min heap of size of 3, and then I'll keep track if the top of the array is like if I'll iterate through every element in the array, and if it's greater than the value in the min heap, I will just pop it out. And after iterate through the whole array and store all the elements in the min heap, the max 3 elements should be in the min heap, and then I'll just pop everything out into a list or like the output array and just return it.
Okay. So the
Does
idea is, I mean, heap of size 3.
right.
Okay.
Okay, does that sound good to you?
Sure. That looks fine, but how would it work for a case like minus 10, 15, 25?
So
Yeah,
wait, 3 numbers or 4 numbers?
something like this.
Okay,
Wait. Yeah, something like this. How would
so
that work?
first -10 will be on the min heap. Let me check. So let's say this is the min heap here. First, -10 will be on the min heap. And then when we add -15, the min heap is still not full to 3. So then we just add it on. And so it'll be -15 will be ordered first since it's less than -10.
Right.
And then we add 25 to the min heap. And then we see when we get to 10, we see -15 is less than 10. So we pop 15 and then we put 10.
And is that answer right?
Is this the max triplet?
What will be the max triplet in this case, in this given example, if you compute manually?
Wait, the max triplet. Wait, so does the array have to be consecutive?
Not necessarily. It can be any 3 elements.
Okay, then I think this is the right answer then. Because -10 plus 10 plus 25 should be.
We said maximum product, right?
Oh, maximum product. Okay, my bad. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think this approach works then. Let me think about it again. Sorry, just misunderstood the problem.
Okay.
Okay. So brute force approach would be to try multiplying every combination of 3, but I don't think that is efficient.
I didn't get there. Can you come again with that?
So the brute force approach would be to try every combination
correct.
of 3 numbers, and that would be like n cubed time.
Right, that'll be n cube. Yes. Can you come up with something better?
Yep. I'm trying to think of it.
You get the question, right? Do you want me to clarify anything else?
Oh, yeah, I understand the question. Like, I'm trying to think of a possible, more optimal answer than n cubed right now.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, so I have an idea. I don't know if it would work, but like I would keep 2 heaps and one with only negative numbers, so the minimum 3 negative numbers, and one with the minimum max. I mean the maximum 3. So I would keep 2 heaps. One of them will be the array sorted by minimum order, and one of them will be the array sorted by maximum order. And then I will check if the top 2 elements of the negative heap is greater than the top 2 elements of the max heap, and multiply by the largest element of the min heap if the top 2 elements of the min heap is greater than the top 2 elements of the max heap.
Can you show that with this example here?
Yep. Okay. So the min heap would hold basically -10, -15. Actually, it'll be in the other order. So this one is actually just for negatives. So okay, actually, let me. I would just like contain all of them just for simplicity, and I'll try to optimize it later if it makes sense too. So this would be what's in the min heap, and this would be what's in the max heap.
So So you mean heap has 4 elements, is it?
Right. So I'm just gonna keep it at 4 elements for now and try to optimize it later if there's time.
Okay.
So I would check, I will multiply the first two.
Mm-hmm.
If it's negative. So peek the first two to see if they're negative. And if the product is greater than the first two on the positive, then I'll multiply by, I will keep the first two and multiply by 25. So in this case, okay, actually I have to check the first three. So combo one would be negative 15 times negative 10 times 25, and then the other possibility would be 25 times 10 times negative 10. So I either take the top two on the min heap and multiply it by the highest number in the max heap, or I just take the first three in the max heap.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like that would work. But what will be the estimated time complexity with this approach?
So insertion into the heap will take n log n, since
Mm-hmm.
it takes n log n to sort, so it'll be 2n log n. And going through the combinations would be just O of 6, because we only pop 6 numbers.
But the pop is
So,
also a log-in operation, right?
oh no, because it's a min heap, so I'm keeping track of a min heap, so it only pops the first element in the queue, in the heap.
But
It
once you
doesn't,
pop it, there is some rearrangement of the heap, right?
yes. Okay, I see
So
your
will that
point.
be order of one?
Wait. So in Java, there's a priority queue,
Hmm.
and each insert is actually log n. So I'm thinking of more of using a priority queue.
Hmm.
So each insert is log n,
Hmm.
and each peaking is only, like, removing the front is O of 1.
Okay.
So instead, I'm just going to use 2 priority queues.
Okay, I get it. So the expected complexity in total would be
N log n.
n log n, and the expected space would be
Uh, 2 of n, because I'm
2 of n.
keeping 2 heaps.
Got it. But let's say I want you to optimize on space. How would you do it?
So it looks like I only need the top 2 elements on the min heap,
Hmm.
and I need only 3 elements on the max heap. So instead, I can check the space for the min heap to be 2. Like, so if the element, so I use a max heap instead of min heap to
Hmm.
keep track of the top 2 elements, and then instead of a max heap, I use a min heap, or I should say like the priority queue equivalent. So then it doesn't rebalance, and we don't have to worry about the login additional runtime.
Okay. So again, you'll need 2 heaps, right?
Right.
Let's say I don't want you to use a heap.
Okay, let me think about it. Okay.
Because we only have 3 elements. So for 3 elements, is a heap really important? Is
Okay,
the
I see,
question.
I see, I see your point there. So
Yeah.
instead I could have like 5 variables and just keep track of, or like maybe just, yeah, just 5 variables and just keep track of all 5. Would that work?
Um, can you come again on that?
So I would have a variable for the minimum number and the second minimum number. And then I'll have a variable for the max number, second max number, and third max number.
Got it. So you'll keep 3 variables that will have first max, second max, and third max.
Right.
And what about the minimum?
All the minimum and next minimum.
Okay, so you'll keep 5 variables.
Right.
That sounds good. So can you code that up?
Okay. We'll attempt to. So
You can take a static input for now. That's fine.
Okay. I'm just gonna write a method here. Okay, so static. Okay, so the input would be an array of integers. Is this correct?
Right. An array of
Okay,
integers, yes.
and would the return type still be integer, or would it be like a double or a long?
You're returning a triplet.
Oh, okay, my bad. I got it. So I'm gonna return a list of integers, which is like which contains like 3 integers. Is this okay with you?
Yeah.
Or would you prefer like an array or, okay, I'll just keep it.
That's your choice. It's okay.
Okay. Find max product triplets. Int array. Okay, let's just. Okay, so I'm gonna write some code to iterate through the array. So for so let me just initialize all the variables that we talked about earlier. So second max.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add a sanity check right here. So if nums equals null, or nums dot size, or the size of the array is less than 3, I will just return empty list.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, here's the, so, okay, I needed to think about the logic a bit more. So I'm assuming the array can have actually max value and min value. Is that correct?
You can take that assumption for now.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so right now the way I'm doing it wouldn't work, like because like there's no way to track if I set any of the fat variables. Like there's no way to track if I set the max or the min variable.
Right. So your second max should be just less than the max, and your third max should be just less than the second max, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, I got this. So instead of using this, I'm gonna set the max as the first value, and then the min also as the first value. So there is really no need for, okay.
But I didn't tell you that the array is sorted, right?
Wait, the array is sorted? Or,
No, it's not sorted.
okay. 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 Okay, so like right now I'm thinking how I can keep track of the first, second, third max.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm thinking that if a value is greater than max, then I would shift max to second max and then second max to third max. And if the next number is less than min, I would shift min to second min and set the new value as the min. So let me just type this out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if nums of I is greater than max, then max would equals nums.I. Wait, first I should do in reverse order. So third max would equal to second max. And then second max would equal to max. And then max would equals nums.I. And then okay, so else if nums.I is greater than second max. I think there's probably some way to simplify this logic, but I will probably do it later if there's time.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So second third max equals second max, and then second max equals nums of I. Otherwise, okay, actually I need the if statement here. Nums of I is greater than third max. Then third max equals nums.I. Greater than third max.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, I'll test the code a bit later, but basically the logic is I just replace the previous max with the new number, and for every variable I just propagate through the old max.
Got it.
And
Got it.
it's similar logic for the min actually too. So okay. Okay, so after this for loop, all the max results, all the variables should be populated.
Okay.
So I would return math.max. Wait, I would return the triplets. So, okay. So, int max. Okay, I think I need a longer variable to store. Max product with mins equals min times sec.
Okay, you're using a long. Okay. Cool.
Right, so in case of overflow, I just use a long.
Okay, let's say all the three numbers have 9 digits. Will that fit in a long?
Oh, okay, so all the numbers have 9 digits. Okay, yeah, I'm not really familiar. I don't really know the size of a long, but I believe it's 2 to the power 64.
All right.
So it should be able to fit in because the max size, well, actually 2 to the power 64 minus 1. And I believe the size of an int is 2 to the power 32 minus 1. So I
All right.
think it should be able to fit in.
Mm, okay.
Yeah,
If you multiply three numbers of the order of 2 to the power 31,
let me see actually. Okay,
that's okay. It's not very important.
I think, yeah, it's actually a bit over. So,
It's okay. You can take long for now. You can assume that the inputs are well
okay,
within your long range.
right. Actually, let me think about it.
It's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you can just
Oh, okay,
control.
I see that both of them, they multiply max, so I can actually remove the max.
Cool. Yeah.
So, so I'll just, okay, 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 so with this, there should not be an overflow because the max would be 2 to the power 31 minus 1 times 2 to the power 31 minus 1, assuming a long is 2 to the power 64 minus 1. Okay, so if max product mins is greater than max product without mins, return. Okay, I think. Okay, just to make this simplify this, I'll just return an int value if this is okay with you, because like I don't really see the point of converting an integer array to
Mm,
a list and back and forth.
yeah. Okay. You can give me the product as well, maximum product as well. That's also fine.
Oh, okay. I I can return the, okay, sure.
Yeah, you can return max product mins into max. It's fine.
That's max product. But this one isn't actually the max value, but it doesn't.
You need to multiply that with max now, right? Because you
Okay,
removed.
yes.
So yeah, whatever is the maximum, you should be returning, right?
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Okay, let me just time. Okay. So yeah, so I'm assuming the value will be less than a long.
Sure.
Return math.max. Okay. Let me just look through the whole code let me just like run through a test case with the code really quickly.
Yeah, sure. Maybe you can walk me through a test case after you're done.
Right, okay. So for this example, we first set max, second max, third max, and min, and second min. So we've set max as -10. So everything is first set to -10.
Right.
In the first iteration. And then in the second iteration, we check the first number, which is 1, which is -15. So we see, okay. We see that, oh, okay. This doesn't work actually because so for second max, we see -15 is actually less than the max. Wait, second max should be -15 in this case, but this case is skipped because all of the values are already set to the first number.
Yeah.
So instead, I will just, okay, let me think.
So how did it go?
So
Does this look good to you?
I have to change the initial values, otherwise it wouldn't work.
Okay.
So second value. Okay. Then same for the min. So right now I'm setting it to the minimum values. So the second max has to be at least greater or equal to the minimum value.
Okay.
And it's the same for the second min. It has to be at least greater than at least less than the maximum value.
Okay.
So in that case, this one would be like, so the first iteration would be like negative min value. So like the maximum max value. So second iteration, we see that second max is, so -15 is greater than second max. So we set this as -15 and the second max is moved to the second value. And okay, and from here, we see that -15 is less than minimum. So we set it as -15. Okay, let me just look down at the code to make sure everything's right. So it's less than the minimum. So we set it as -15 and -10 is moved down to the second min. So it becomes -10. Okay, so when we get to 25, we see that max is greater than max, so we propagate everything down. So it'll be -10, -15, and this would be 25. And for the min, we see 25 is not less than either one. So none of the conditions apply here. So we continue. And then when we get to 10, we see that 10 is greater than second max, so we propagate everything down. Okay, so it'll be -10 here. And this, for the minimum, we see 10 is greater than both, so everything skipped, and we just return the multiplication of the values.
Okay.
Okay, so I think the code works. Do you want me to like run through an actual test case, or is this okay? Can I walk through the code with you?
You can maybe run it.
Okay. Okay, let me just change this. So, what's this called? Okay, find max triplets. Long. Okay. Input equals. Okay, actually, you don't need new int here. Okay, so it would be these values right here. System. Okay, looks good to me. Let me just run the code. Okay, I see I didn't like set the value because after I changed the result to long, I didn't update the test cases.
Right.
So in the case the array is null, like what should I return? Or like
now
if
maybe return 0 now.
okay, let's just return 0. Okay, okay, I see. Okay, let me just run it again. Okay, so the solution should be, let me just.
That's right. That's the right answer.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So let's quickly go to a next question. Let's
Okay.
take a smaller one for now.
Okay.
All right.
Yep, sounds good.
Yep. So now let's say I'll give you a list of strings. Okay.
Okay.
Let me note that down here. You can use the space. So I'll give you a list of strings, and you should find me the product of two string lengths such that the product is maximum.
So, wait, so the length of the string is maximal.
And the catch is these strings should not have any common characters.
Okay, wait, like, can you repeat the question? Like, I didn't get
Yep.
all of it, so.
Yeah, sure. Let me give an example as well.
Okay,
So I'll
sounds
give
good.
you a list of strings, something like this, okay?
Right.
And you should give me a product, okay? And that product will be a product of two strings, the product of length of two strings.
Okay.
And these multiplying strings, right? They should not have any common character.
These multiplying strings should not have common characters.
So I can rephrase it. You can pick two strings, okay?
Right.
Such that they have no common character. And the product of their length should be maximum.
Okay. So in this example, wait, so each individual string cannot have common character. So luxury has, I see luxury as like two U's. So does that count as a?
No.
So
An
each,
individual string is an independent string.
okay, so each individual string cannot have common characters between two strings, and then I just
Right.
return the product. So in this
Right.
case, it would be hotel, the length of hotel, which is 5, and then the length of luxury, which is 6. So it'll be
Right.
5 times 6 here.
Right. It could be suite and luxury as well.
Okay,
Right.
I see,
Yeah. Like
yes.
whatever is the string, it's fine.
Okay. So, okay, this is, so I see like this problem is like I will split it into like two problems. One would be uh to make sure to compare two strings and check that they don't have the same characters.
Mhm.
So they don't have the same characters. So for example, make sure that like hotel and luxury don't have. Actually, for this example, hotel and luxury wouldn't work because they both have a L. So it would, the only working one would be actually suite and luxury.
Right.
So check that two strings don't have common characters. That would
Mhm.
be the first method.
Mhm.
And then the second would be, oh, okay, I'm not really sure how the second would work, but a brute force approach would be just to test all combinations
Right.
after checking.
Yep. That would work. Yes, but we can optimize, right?
You're right, right. So let me think about it a bit more. Okay. So,
You get the question, right? Or do you want me to
right,
repeat it
right.
again?
Yes, I understand the question.
All right.
Yeah, just trying to think of a more optimum solution.
So basically, it's just that two strings should not have a different character, like should not have a common character, but a string can have repetitions of the same character. That's fine.
Right, right.
Yep.
So do you think like my approach of splitting the problem into finding the checking if two strings have different characters and then somehow finding the optimum order after checking the strings is a good approach to the solution? Or do you think there's like a more optimal approach?
There is a more optimal approach in the checking basically. So
Okay.
can you elaborate on the checking if two strings have a common character or not? If you can optimize
So,
that, then that
okay,
would speed up.
let me think. So, in the case of checking both, I would basically use a set. I would put everything in the first string. Like, so for example, to check if cake is, I would do a scan of each character one by one and add them in a set. So there'll be a set called with CAKE, for example,
Mhm.
and then I would scan the second string. And if there is a, when we get to E, we see that E is in the set. So this would not be a match. So let me think about this if I can like optimize it by reusing this data somewhere. Oh,
Right. So if it's a set, let's assume it's a set, and how would you check if two sets have a common element?
okay, I see.
So now in your case, let's say there are n strings, you will have n sets, right?
Right.
And now for each pair of sets, would you check? Or is there a method that quickly does it or something?
I think there is one in the set library, but I don't know the actual how to use that one. I'm not
Mhm.
too familiar. Like I don't know the exact syntax.
Okay. So let's think it in a different direction, right? So let's say how many unique characters can a string have?
Okay, how many unique? Let's assume it's ASCII, then that would be 256
For now,
possible.
let me simplify that for you. Let's keep it 26. Let's keep it small, lowercase English
Okay,
alphabets for now.
okay, right. So it'll be 26 times the maximum possible length of a string. Wait,
I didn't.
it'll be 26, and then so right, so it'll be 26. It'll be an array of 26, and we would
Awesome.
populate each digit with the number of characters.
Right. So now let's say you have that for every string. Now how would you go about it?
So the compare time would be O of 26, because we would just check each array.
Right. Mhm. Right. So if you have two strings, then it's 26 time. All right. So that works. So I think in the interest of time, I wouldn't ask you to write code for this one. I would probably ask you for a pseudo code for this one. So let's dig a little more into this. Let's give another 5 minutes for this question,
Okay.
and let's see where we end up. All right. So now we have two arrays, right? So again, you have an order of 26. Like you have a 26 length array for each element, and that's how you're going to do. So let's say now you have this. How do you go about solving the bigger problem?
Okay, let me think about it. So we would have iterate something like something. Okay, so during each compare, add we could add the values and then multiply them later. This doesn't optimize anything. Let me think about it again.
So with whatever you have in hand, what
Right.
is what is one way you'd go about it if you can't optimize a lot?
Well, first I would come for the brute force way would be like compare like cake with sweet, and we see that fails, so then check cake with hotel and cake with luxury, and then continue with suite and hotels and suite and luxury, etc. And this would take n squared times 26 time.
Yes, that's right. Yep,
Wait, n squared times 26 time, yeah.
yep.
Actually, there's also building. Okay, yeah, building each would be actually the length of the word. Oh, wait, 26 would be around. Okay, yeah, that'd still be n squared. Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, you're right. That there is an element of the word length as well.
yeah.
Good that you called out. So, yeah, that's fine. Can you write the pseudocode? Just pseudocode.
Okay, so for each word, generate six character frequency array. Okay, so this has to be stored somewhere. So let's say it's like an array of arrays. So this would be the length, and this would be like 26. Character, something like this. Okay, just for. Okay, so int max equals min value. For all 0. Length all. Okay, so I equals check if has same characters. So this would be a helper function to check if the arrays have the same character.
Okay.
And all max would be
Okay. So what do? You create a.
So first I create this array, which is the length of the words. So let me just length of the words array and 26.
Right.
So each represents the character frequencies of each word. And then I use this helper function, which I didn't write yet, that generates all the frequencies. So for cake, 3 would be C. So third index would be 1. And then A is like index 0. Okay, C is actually
Yep.
index 2. Yeah. So it populates the array. And then I set max as the minimum value. Okay, there's an edge case I forgot. So let's say all of them have the same character. Let's say every string has an E, for example. What should I return?
Let's say all the string has.
Let's say all the string has like one of the same characters. So let's say,
There is no product, right? You could return 0.
okay. So then, okay, so the maximum, I'll set the maximum to 0 here. So we go through each, and so the first loop iterates through every string in the array, and then the second loop also iterates through all the elements in the array except after the one at I.
Yeah, got it.
So we check all of the combinations, and then we update max with the products
Yep,
if they have the same character, and then return the max.
got it. I get the code. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. That works. So I think we're done for the round.
Okay.
Do you have any questions to ask? And post that, we'll go to the feedback and collective feedback session.
I think I'm good here. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's go to the next steps. Martin.
So yeah, the first thing is Alex. The question is for you. How do you feel? How do you think you did in this interview?
I think I didn't do too well. Like, especially the second question, I'm really not sure how to optimize it. And then the first question, I think I took too long. I guess the code could also be like more optimized for the first question.
Okay. So next is for Amrith. Could you share your feedback to Alex?
Yeah, sure. So from my perspective, you did pretty well. I was very much impressed by the fact that you did the requirement clarification too well, because you were asking all sensible questions, but I think you missed the negative case in your initial thought, right?
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but that's okay. You were asking good questions. So I was about to ask you about that integer max value. I was about to ask you the question, what would you do if you had in dot max value in your answer? But before that, you came and asked me without taking an assumption, which is pretty good.
Okay.
And from the coding perspective, from the problem solving perspective, I like the way that you came with the heap approach in the very first go for the problem. But you also gave the brute force approach. That is also good. And when I asked you to remove the heap, when I gave you a hint to, do you need a heap for 3 elements? You quickly came up with variables and then you wrote the code. And from the code wise, that skeleton looks pretty promising. That's right. I think that's the best way of doing it in order of n time and order of one space. So in that sense, you did really well on the first problem, but it's
Okay.
just that you took a little more time than 25 minutes to come up with the working code. But I agree there that was a little catchy to get the max and second max and the third max. So that was fine. It's okay that you took time. So due to that, I reduced that second problem to a much shorter one. But again, in the second problem, if you see, that is like the almost optimal approach. So if you want to get two strings and you want to get you want to get non-overlapping strings, another way would be to keep some data structure where you keep strings how do you say, we'll get to that, but one solution I had in mind when I gave you the frequency map concept was to use bits to represent the characters, because it's 26. You could have easily used an integer and then
Right. Right.
represented
I
all
see.
26 characters. So you could do a bitwise AND operator, and then you could come up with the approach, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing I can think of might be you could use a try, but that will overcomplicate the problem.
Hmm.
Yeah, but anyways, this is very close to the optimal approach. So in that sense, you solved both the problems, and that was pretty good. And your testing factor was also nice. You actually did a dry run through the code, which is actually good. And a small question I had was regarding your strength in Java, because you were saying about priority queues, right? You were saying about the priority queue peak and pall operations.
Right.
I have it's my lack of knowledge in Java probably, so I am not sure how that works. If there was time, I would have asked you how that is order of one, but that's okay. I hope you're confident on that. Are you?
Oh, I think. Yeah, I think I'm positive for that part, at least for the party queues, because I read the docs once.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was fine. And your command over the language was also good. So that is one thing. So yeah, another thing I liked in the interview was that you called out the fact where string length can also be a part of the complexity. So in fact, if you say it's order of n square into 26, there is a there is a factor of string length inside that as well.
Right.
But you called it out. It's pretty good. Yep. And regarding the areas of improvement, that would only be your management of time.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. Apart from that, you were communicating very well while you wrote the code, so I did not have any hiccups in trying to understand what actually happened inside those if loops, if blocks. That was fine. And yes, if time had permitted, I would have taken a little bigger question, but it's just that I had to cut it short to a much smaller version of the problem. And also, I felt for the second one, you required more hints to think in the right direction rather than comparing two strings as such.
Got
That's the only thing. But otherwise, I would say it was a very good interview. Your problem solving was pretty good. Yeah, that's my feedback.
it. Thank you.
Thanks, Amrith. The next part is actually we want to open it to the participants to share feedback to both, to either the interviewee or the interviewer, basically to both. So somebody wants to share their thoughts. Now it's the time. I can start actually. Yeah, I think Alex, I think you did great. It was that, yeah, like the first problem, it is tricky to come to the, the negatives. It's like a complicated thing to kind of like come up with during an interview, and you went through all the stages and you figure out by yourself. And I think that's a very good thing of your, like, how you think and how you can solve problems in real life. A good education. I Yeah, and for the second problem, again, yeah, I have no doubt that we have like more time, you would have come to the, right solution. So I think I just I also agree that your communication was good. It's not easy to code and talk at the same time, so that was a very positive thing. And yeah, naming is correct. I feel, I mean, just nitpicky, maybe some the I's and the J's in the loop in this, at least in the pseudocode that here could be something more semantic, but that's a minor thing. But yeah, that's it. Does anybody else want to share any feedback to either Amrit or Alex? Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recording, and let me start the recording now.